you're acting like a different person.
Well, look at me. I am a different person.
Well, I really want to say a sincere congratulations on this movie. I'd heard all the buzz, and I'm like, will it live up to this buzz? And it does.
Oh, thanks, man.
It's real good. What the hell is this journey like for you, though? Because for people that don't realize, this is an indie movie. You bring it to Sundance, and then you sell for a crazy amount of money, and now it's going to be on Netflix.
It's surreal. I mean, hearing you say that is surreal. I still can't even believe that we got into Sundance. You know, we shot this movie at the end of 2022 on like a $2 million budget. And yeah, you know, you kind of make it in a bubble. I had written the script 6 years prior. So just getting to shoot it, it was like, I can't believe we're like shooting this. I can't believe that this is a thing. But yeah, you make it and you have no idea what's going to happen. You hope that someone buys it. And you just send it out to film festivals. We did. So I really didn't even expect to get into Sundance. It seemed like a pipe dream. So when we got in, it was amazing. Being there was amazing. Having just one person interested in buying it was amazing. So having multiple people, I mean, it's crazy. It's like it's been a dream and very surreal.
What was it like for you actually after Sundance and after the sale? I don't know if you're based in LA.
Yeah.
So you get back to LA. How many meetings did you do? Like, what was it actually like when the door finally opens?
It's great. I mean, I got COVID 24 hours after the sale. So I ended up being laid out at Sundance for a week, or in Utah for a week, rather. Everyone left and I was still there. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I got here. My agent was setting me up and to do the proverbial water bottle tour. And no, I mean, it's been amazing that people have responded to the movie so much, especially after being like just unsuccessful at getting it made for so long. So yeah, I'm thrilled that people like it.
Do you have a whole bunch of unproduced scripts, or is it one of these where like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In those meetings, everyone's like, so what do you want to do next?
Totally. That is exactly what they say. Yeah. Yes. I have, I was trying to get another movie made prior to this one for like 10 years and I couldn't get financing. So that led me to like, I was like, I got to write like a one location thing that I can make as cheaply as possible. But yes, at this point I have a backlog of ideas, all in like various stages of like outline. I have one script fully written, and I'm hoping to get one of those going as my next project. Knock on wood.
I'm confident that someone will be giving you the financing to make something.
I hope so.
Do you know what I mean? So jumping into the film, what I'm so fascinated by, like where an idea starts and versus where it ends up. So, like, what were some of the big things that this thing went through in terms of, like, was it ever radically different? Was it ever, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I mean, like I said, I started with the mandate of it sort of being like as low budget as possible. So I just gave myself the mandate of like one night, one house, 8 people, sci-fi. I'm a sci-fi nerd. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's my favorite genre.
Oh, same. Yeah, so guy comes with suitcase, some sci-fi shit happens. The overall bones of the story were always there. I guess like the biggest change from that first draft to now is initially, are we allowed to get into spoilers?
I can run this after release.
Okay. Initially, the person in Forbes's body was not his sister. It was his like lackey at the lab who was just like disgruntled. And they were just doing this to essentially go to this party, get this trust fund money, and get out. I showed it to a handful of friends, and I got the sort of like recurring note, like it's just too bad this lackey character has nothing to do with the group, kind of comes out of nowhere. So like I was talking to one of my friends, Matt Pope, who's also a filmmaker. And I was like, like maybe it should be Forbes' sister. And maybe she was the person who Dennis cheated on Nikki with, because I had that plot point already in the script. And so that fell into place around like, I want to say draft 4. So that was the biggest plot change that sort of happened from beginning to what we have now.
So what you're in the editing room, you have a cut, you're showing it to friends and family or whoever you trust. What were some of the big notes you got that ended up tweaking the film for the better?
Yeah, so we had 2 test screenings also, like smaller screenings, one in June and one in, I think, like September. I found them very helpful. But sort of biggest things were like the beginning needed to be tightened, like everything before they get to the house. That was originally like twice as long. We cut a scene out. It's one of those things where you think you need a scene to set up what the party is. Then you realize in the totality of the movie, people are seeing it. It's like, oh, I guess we don't need any of that information. Like setting up like the wedding, because that all gets set up in the Instagram montage. So yeah, we really trimmed the beginning down, and then just like the end, like in the coda, all the clarity of like kind of who winds up in whose body. That was we got to note that was kind of unclear. So we did go back and do like a pickup shoot where we shot some red light stuff where we kind of showed the audience like who's in who at the end.
Man, I have so many follow-ups. Did you end up, was there a lot of deleted scenes, or with like the shoot you had, it's like, yeah, we have like 2?
I think we have like 2 deleted scenes. Yeah, there's like a scene at the house where they're basically just kind of finishing up their bedroom argument and talking about essentially just the exposition of the party. And there's a scene where they're packing the car. There was a longer scene where Shelby's making this post at the gas station where she does see this like thirsty gas station clerk sort of like oogling over this like attractive girl, and it goes into this the organ Bach music, and the spotlight comes on her, which is the same thing that happens later when she's in Nikki's body. So that was supposed to be a callback to that, but it was just one of those things where in the totality it's like, you know what, this is kind of a double beat. We understand that Shelby is doesn't feel valued. So yeah, I think that was all that we cut out.
So I really enjoyed the editing and the pace of the editing, and talk a little bit about, like, that's not fast. Like, you can't cut what you did with this movie in like a week. Right. This is like real editing. So talk a little bit about the challenges and establishing the look you were going for with the edits.
Yeah, so the edit, I mean, like, I've been editing my own stuff kind of since I've been in LA, just initially just out of necessity because I couldn't afford anyone. And then I like just would teach myself After Effects, visual effects, doing low budget music videos. For this, I very much shot the movie with the edit in mind. So a lot of the scenes, there wasn't a whole lot of like extra footage. Like we didn't really shoot a lot of coverage. And then just the sort of like, I guess the sporadically jittery style of the editing was all in service of making the film feel what I call anxiety chic, which is essentially just like, like a film that makes you anxious. We want to make you feel like Shelby. She's an anxious character. We see her take a Xanax. And so like, can this film via the editing, really everything, sound design, camera work, make you feel like give you the experience of what it feels like to be an anxious person.
How much did you debate the opening shot and the closing shot? Because I'm always fascinated by like what a director wants as that first thing you see and the last thing you see.
Oh man, I love this question. Actually, yeah. So initially the plan was start on Shelby's face and on Shelby's face. So initially, I forgot to mention this. Initially, we started in the bathroom where she like closes the mirror and we're seeing her face, and then at the end it's like it ends on like on her face. That came out of a test screening too, where it was like people were a little confused about the tone. There was sort of no sci-fi danger elements in the first 7 minutes. So because of that, we were like, like I came to the conclusion. I was like, I gotta insert a new opening that has like a sci-fi vibe. So that's when I came up with the let's pull out of the machine and kind of set up the like red, green, blue particles. But yes, I always pay attention to the first and last shot of a movie, always.
Yeah, I don't think a lot. Anyway, that's a whole nother thing. So, which casting ended up being the toughest to figure out, and why?
Ooh, man, that's a good question. I mean, probably the one that I was the most nervous about going into was Forbes. My sort of philosophy was like, let's get an unknown actor. He has to have a very special quality. It's hard to like articulate what he needs to be like. We kind of had open auditioned. David Thompson came in. I saw his face. I was like, oh, this guy's got a really interesting face. I didn't even realize that he was in Green. I mean, I'd seen Green Room like 4 times. I did not realize that he was Tad from Green Room. He didn't have the mohawk. And yeah, just seeing him, it was like, wow, like this guy's amazing. But it was, yeah, I would say that was the hardest role to cast, just because it's the hardest one to describe, and he has to sort of be, a little weird, but but not so weird that you kind of wouldn't want to like that you'd want to like avoid him physically, I guess. So yeah,
I know exactly what you're talking about, but he played it so well.
Yeah.
Anyway, I gotta go. I'm kicked out. I'm just gonna
thanks,
say, I just noticed your shirt.
Oh yes.